Despite two very controversial topics over the course of the last week in the CBRM, a survey of Facebook pages of Mayor and Council show minimal to no efforts to address the topics or provide clarity to their constituents. Some councilors, such as Steve Parsons or Gordon MacDonald, can sometimes be observed posting or communicating in other groups, albeit with very different tones. Of the communication activity, Gordon MacDonald spent the most time, primarily engaging in arguments in comments. Stephen McNeil made the most effort recording a video to address issues with garbage collection. Kim Shepherd Campbell communicated early, informing her residents that she was aware of the issues and was trying hard to get answers. Steve Parsons posted in a community group acknowledging issues and expressing immense frustration. Two councilors simply posted links to the CBRM Council emergency meeting on garbage collection failures and a need to hire contractors to get things back on track for the time being. Although some councilors were communicating privately about the topic of Hot August Nights, none of them posted information to residents to explain what happened from the CBRM's perspective. Likewise, no information about Hot August Nights was shared by the police or the CBRM administration, and Mayor Clark addressed nothing at all. Councillor Darren O'Quinn, who called out communication issues, has been sharing only local events and has not addressed either topic on his Facebook page.
The issue, again, is always communication. CBRM did a poor job communicating this to me, the residents in my area, and
Okay, folks, we know they all voted for it, but that's a sunk cost. Let's start with a disclaimer. I try to track down Facebook pages for mayor and council. In some cases, I've included what appear to be personal pages, which are often used in their council role. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, bring it to my attention, please. Darren O'Quinn was right about communication, but that is a persistent problem. At the very least, O'Quinn is responsible for communicating to the residents in his district, so I have to call attention to the gap between his recognition of the importance, but his failure to follow through. Beyond that, however, O'Quinn's lack of communication on the hot topics of the past week is pretty status quo. Most of his colleagues are in the same boat. Some might suggest folks could have watched the meeting. Only two councilors actually promoted it. However, suggesting that folks watch council sessions to get information would be a demonstration of a lack of fundamental understanding of how to communicate effectively. If you want people to be aware, you have to make an effort. It's easier for one person to try harder than it is to convince 10,000 people to find the time and invest it trying to find relevant information. Perhaps there's simply a reluctance to address the topic for lack of any good answers. 311 is so overwhelmed with calls, councilors say they stopped responding to them in some cases. The scrappy Gordon MacDonald is probably the only councilor that will put a lot of time into exchanging jabs with citizens in the comment section. He's an outlier in that regard, for sure. What should they have done differently? Easy. Post a message, talk about the emergency meeting or address concerns before it ever got that far. Talk about Hot August Nights and their views on the event and its cancellation. They don't have to make as much effort as Stephen McNeil with his video message, although they would certainly be showcasing some exceptional commitment to communication if they did. But they should say something. Kim Shepherd Campbell gets kudos here for addressing it transparently before the emergency meeting. Steve Parsons, although not on his own page, also did so. And the reality is, it might have been these two councilors that actually pushed for the emergency meeting in the first place. We won't know unless they tell us. The CBRM is generally the emperor that wears many layers of clothing and still feels naked. For everyone else, the formula is simple. 1. Address the topic. 2. Describe the concern briefly. 3. Tell what additional info you know. 4. Describe what you've done. 5. Address any points of correction that are necessary for the points of confusion or misinformation you've noted. 6. Describe the next steps, or convey anything you see fit. If you're up to speed on the topic, this takes a few minutes at best. If you're not up to speed on the topic, then we have a bigger issue at hand, don't we? Start communicating. Don't complain about people upset in social media, confusion, frustration, or misinformation after the fact. Because if you're not showing communication leadership, then your silence and lack of effort is a key ingredient in many of the things that go wrong when an issue arises and the community has to work through it themselves, whether it's on social media or anywhere else. Don't ever think they don't know what they're talking about when you knew better but never made the effort to share it publicly. Does that make sense? It should.